thinking that's based.
Again, I think GRIN Esports is one of the teams that can make these stranger drafts work, but you know, just based off how things have been going recently for them, chances are you don't necessarily want to risk it. But I guess again, they don't really have much to play for. They're just having a bit of fun. So there's a lot of all chat happening as well. When's Seal anime is the question from Skyward. What the hell is a Seal anime?
I don't know. I've read about this one. I don't know why. I've seen some mention of this, but I do not know. I'm not overly familiar with that one. It's a familiar name. I don't know why. And just going back into this draft again, I don't know if you really pick the Skyrat for Ancient Seal into Faceless Void. You can go BKB anyway. I think you really pick that just for a combination with Axe, like call into Mystic Flare, which again, with a save on Disruption, I just don't know what you can do. Like this one hero on the Shadow Demon just ruins a lot of your combinations on GRIN. That if you're not jumping the Shadow Demon first, then it feels like you'll not be able to find anything. If you do jump a Shadow Demon first, well, you give the opportunities for the Chrono. Coming out from Faceless Void, you give opportunities for Lobcut to look for that burst play. There's a lot of worry about here from the side of TiltedBoys, and I don't think GRIN's really fully equipped for that. Still taking a look down bot. You do start off with Ush on the Timp and Skyward on the tech. He's already running down Salivating Salamander. Already down to a lot. Does have 6 Tangos, so should be able to regen up just fine, but not the kind of start you want to see in this lane. Like, it's a double ranged up against a Timbersaw. You expect Dedusa to have a pretty free time, but if your Skyrat mage gets zoned out that bad, it can be a little bit rough. Salivating Salamander has to kind of watch himself here.
You do have to also be careful about the techies. You have 0 base armor as a Skyrath mage. The Skyward can deal a lot of damage if he does land the sticky bomb. So he does have the blood grenade ready to go whenever as well. So we'll have a look at the other lanes while we have a chance as well. Of course, mid lane Volodka going up against Rojo Fireflu, who shouldn't have the worst time, but as the levels do come up on Volodka, you are certainly going to start to see the advantage his way. Not too much Rojo can do about all the magical burst that Volodka will have. Mind you, though, Volodka has gone for a point in Fiery Soul, so I'm interested to see what kind of build-up he's planning to go for here, because I believe you usually just max Dragon Slave Light Strike Array these days as Lena. But he does opt for the Fiery Soul level 2.
I think it's purely because he's a range versus melee matchup, so you can get some decent right-click harass on him. Not like the Monkey King's the shortest range melee hero. You can have opportunities for Rojo Firefly to harass back. But as you approach a level 4, level 5 for Volodka, this lane should stabilize his way. Does go for the 1-1-1 on Lena. Still taking a look at the other lanes up top. You do have Ferte on the Faceless Void along with Door on the Shadow Demon. Up against Muzi on the Axe and Rain Prince on the Enchantress. Early on in lane, as you mentioned, this is a pretty decent lane for the Axe. Time Walk's pretty long on cooldown. It's not like the Faceless Void will want to run up and try to right-click down Muzi. And Door does have the save with Disruption, but it's not really the best feeling to have to pop it in lane. You kind of want to get your Shadow Poison out. So a lot more passive up top should lead to just farm, and that does give you a bit of an early advantage going on here for GRIN, at least up top.
It does.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Well, Door going to be a little bit cautious there. Muzi doing a lot of damage. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Ush going for a run. Oh, Mystic Snake is out. Ush, he's going to be just fine. Will survive on 75 HP. Meanwhile, top lane, Rain Prince and Door both drop. Ferte in trouble, gets a time walk away, but I don't know if he can man fight. Oh boy, yeah, I mean, you can't do that against the full creep wave. Like, if Muzi's got a creep wave on him, he's going to spin non-stop. Even at level 1, counter Helix. TP away, he's going to be just fine. Skyward could not catch him.
Great dive out from the side of GRIN. Tree sacrifice Rain Prince, but Muzi finds the solo kills, gets EXP, has his full Vanguard up. So now the Axe is really just not going to be shoved away from this lane. I don't see a way for you to kind of threaten unless you get the full stack of Shadow Poison onto him, which is easier said than done for Door. Ferte has to watch himself. The Faceless Void will need a lot of time to build up. The slower laning start not going to help the cause. He is trying to rush into the Midas, but it's going to take some time. At the least with the Midas, you can also clear out the Enchanted. Again, that does mean you're playing a slower game right now in the safe lane.
Bottom lane, Ush going down again. Excuse me, he does go down the first time. Salivating Salamander able to take that kill. Mind you, Skyward was not around to support his Timbersaw. Did leave him be, so this is the opening here for Salivating Salamander, and he just denies himself to the tier 1 tower. He was very low on mana and HP, so just gets the full reset for himself. Come back and just start doing it all over again against the Timber.
Yeah. Starting to open up that lane a lot for Soul.
Third
And that farm you'd want.
Gets the time walk away. Muzi can still probably make it for a call, but disruption is there from Door. Muzi, though, not holding back on the aggression. Will go in for a call now. Does land one, but Fertate, it's okay to walk away from this. Not enough spins to come out here from Muzi quite yet.
Yeah. It's a little bit off the mark, but you are still stuck with a level 1 time walk for Ferte. So if Muzi does see the opportunity to run up and get the call again, it could be a spot of trouble if that is forced out earlier here from Ferte. I do have to say one thing.
In a moment, Salivating Salamander is being chased down. Oh, Ush does not commit Whirling Death. So Skywrath does actually get away from this. What did you want to say, John?
The Axe Illusions are pretty annoying from Door. It is one thing, you're getting double value on that disruption. We saw Rain Prince drop low just purely off the Axe Illusions running him down, so you have to watch that. The counter helix still pretty annoying on a Shadow Demon here.
It certainly is. Stun out. Fertate, cop in a top lane. Level 2 enchant is a nice little power spike during the laning stage for the Enchantress. I love the pressure they're applying top lane. Like, just the tier 1 tower is copping so much damage with the siege creep. That Centaur just taking all the damage the tier 1 tower could provide. And Rain Prince, he'll just keep going. Chance another creep, send it to the tier 1 tower, and that's your tier 1 top tower just gone. It's a great gameplay so far from GRIN Esports, just abusing the Enjax lane. Meanwhile, Ush bottom lane still having huge problems, going to go down. Soul able to pick up a double kill on the Medusa. And GRIN, they might even find a third if Door's not too careful. He will eventually back his way out successfully. But so far, 5-2 with a 2k advantage the way of GRIN. And they're opening up the map really nicely here. With the top tier 1 tower going down so early, Rain Prince can rotate mid now with his level 2 creep. And it's not going to be too hard to start pressuring the mid tier 1. It's Volodka going to get pushed back by the Hurricane. Primal Spring in, but a nice Light Strike array, and now the Laguna Blade. Volodka able to find a good trade for himself so far. Blast off is there from Skyward. Volodka still trying to run, is going to make it away. Thankfully, Skyward was there with the blast off to ensure he created the gap between the Monkey King and the Lina. That will allow them to protect the mid-tier 1 tower for longer.
Good body blocks as well from Skyward, just preventing the run-up here from Rojo to find that damage onto Volodka. And he still finds himself a trade. And then that kill onto the Inch, nice freebie coming out for the Lina. That forced movement out. And GRIN, despite those losses though, are still feeling good. 5-3, 2k lead up their way. Free lane for Soul now down bot. Rojo Firefly starting to find that early itemization on the Monkey King as well. Going for an Orb Corrosion into the Echo Saber. Your one hurting point right now for TiltedBoys really is Ferte. Like this Faceless Void is just not going to have a good ramp up. He does opt for the Maelstrom instead of the Midas. So again, just looking for a stable farm. Without the Midas level, the EXP gain is going to be a lot slower though.
Mid lane, they've got Volodka. Lina getting bursted down. Nice pickup for Rojo as he'll rush towards Door. Door has no disruption available. That'll be a kill to go the way of Rain Prince as they just keep going. With the haste rune up, Skyward's going to go down. GRIN Esports getting so aggressive this game too. Just they've won practically every lane. No lanes were lost here from GRIN. So they can just run at TiltedBoys and there's just nothing they can do about it.
Yeah, they've done a great job on GRIN. Repairing that slower start they had in game 1. They've got momentum their way. They know that the side of Tilted Boys, they're going to play a farming game. Like even your Timbersaw kind of needs to get some initial items up. The Vanguard alone, not enough for you to have a lot of impact on this hero just yet. And everything else is just stalled out. Like you need a lot of room out for Ferte. You can just kind of clear out the Maelstrom, although...
Lane again. Rain Prince getting jumped on. Big Wukong's command. Rain Prince still in trouble. Rojo Fireflu, in fact, dropping low himself now because Ash has rotated. Lagoon Blade will get that done. Rain Prince down to boot. Volodka still going. Looking for Salivating Salamander, but misses the stun. They do get a sticky bomb, though. So Salivating Salamander, not out of danger yet. We'll get the Ancient Seal, but looks like he is set to fall. Volodka will eventually get it. A double kill for the Lina. 3 down in the mid lane. And Tilted Boys, they strike back.
You have to be a little bit careful on GRIN about overcommitting like that. Very aggressive posturing out from Rojo Fireflu without Wukong's. They did have the wards up, so they felt confident in that area, but with the Timbersaw coming in, with the tree line cut, with the isolation there, more than enough damage output here with Volodka around as well. And they are starting to buy that space out for Ferte. The Face's Void is, at the very least, in the Javelin, into the Maelstrom. Again, not too far off. You are starting to pressure a little bit onto Soul. We are seeing some movement out from Ush to run up to the Dusa. Up top, though, Muzi.
Well, he might get caught out. Skyward's just following him down. Ush is meeting him from the other side, so it's a bit of a pincer maneuver. Muzi, really no way out of this one. They will gift the kill over to Volodka. And you love handing all this bonus gold to the Lina, because the sooner she gets the Ags up, the sooner she just deletes people with one combo. The supports just cannot survive it once she has the Ags. Like, she could literally just pop Laguna, and this Enchantress will probably just be dead.
You just don't have enough HP with all of that spell lamp coming through. Smoke out now as well from Tilted Boys. A little bit of a smoke play from GRIN as well. They do have the Mystic Flare, Ancient Seal ready with, I suppose, the Boundless Strike to set up. Let's see if they find anything here.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom lane, like, Ferte, is a big pick off if they can get it. Problem is, he's hanging by the T1 bottom tower, so it's kind of hard to make the dive in. They'll go into the triangle instead. Volodka's going to be spotted, but Rojo Fireflu does reveal himself.
This was over before it started.
And that's about it. Tips over from Rojo. Probably a little bit annoyed that they missed out on the smoke opportunity. But it does seem like it was maybe spotted by Tilted Boys by a ward. I mean, there was a ward in the Radiant Jungle, so potentially they were being watched. Nevertheless, though, GRIN Esports, they are still holding onto a 4K net worth advantage, so still happy days for them.
Yeah, still in a solid position. They're still getting this free farm out for Soul, uncontested on the Dusa. Manta not too far off. Probably a butterfly rush this game would be massive for that hero. And just no clear answers yet for the launching points on Tilted Boys. Perhaps once Ush has the full Kaya Sanj, that's where things can start to be a little bit more active from the Timb. For now, it's just steady farm, clearing out the side lanes, getting that build up, trying to get this travels up for Volodka to allow the Lina to run around, look for these kills. And you see Rain Prince here.
He's going to get deleted to you, John. So no two ways about it. Volodka, at least the raindrops will protect Rain Prince. Still should die to Ash and Will. We'll see Volodka just leave the area, realizing they are probably trying to move in now. Ash, he was the one to stick around to get the kill, but he could be in a bit of danger himself. So he tries to chain away, but the Boundless Strike is going to cancel. So a very nice trade here for GRIN Esports. Punishing for trying to go for that Enchantress kill. Sadly for Volodka, with the raindrops up, he just did not have enough damage to burst through the Ench.
Yeah, it doesn't go his way. They're forced to spend a little bit more time.
Oh, he's fine. Never mind.
Trying to make a move on to Ferte. He does have the Maelstrom, so the farm pace can kick up a notch, but still doesn't compare to how much soul's been given out. This Deuce is just growing massive. Yasha up, Dragonlance next. The hero is just going to be a lot hard to deal with. Manta being done. All the stats in the world. You still have this burst damage from Volodka. I don't know if it's enough to really burn through the shield though.
A lot of damage here on Furte bottom lane. Furte, oh, he stuck around. Disruption. It's going to buy the space he needed. Furte looking to move it back in for a chrono. Rain Prince is the only one he sees here. He'll go for the kill attempt on the edge. Meanwhile, Salivating Salamander has been picked off. Rain Prince still alive through this chrono, but eventually will die to Skyward. Bit unfortunate as well, by the way. No untouchable skilled up here for the edge. Had he had it, he probably would have survived that. But Verte, he's getting very low with the void here to this ancient camp. He'll be okay. Survive in the end.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Playing it on the edge just a little bit. Should be able to make it through. You are right. Like, no value point there for the edge. This is pretty typical of a lot of enchantresses, though, that do go for more emphasis on aggression rather than defense. So it's understandable for Rain Prince to not have it. At the same time, in this kind of game, it feels necessary to have it. When this is a Faceless Void, if he's forced to chrono just the inch, untouchable means that you basically waste your big teamfight spell here on TiltedBoys. Still TiltedBoys for their part. They've evened out the net worth a lot. Like their farm distribution, considering the slower start, is rather flat across the board. So you're feeling good in every core. You're only really worried about Soul and Muzi a little bit here, as you do have that blink up on the axe. Blade Mail not too far off. So you can start to get offensive on your axe now as well, with his timing lining up. Rojo scouting around here.
Wildcard poured out. He'd be a massive pickoff. Nice juke out on the line strike array, and Rojo fire flew. He'll find another kill, though now he's been caught out. He's got help around him, so he should be able to find a way to retreat. Ush is still moving in. Rojo dropping low, and with the Demonic Purge, they had enough damage. He does go down. Salivating Salamander to follow. Pretty even trade here for both sides, but TiltedBoys still coming out on top in terms of net worth. They are just worth more than what TiltedBoys are at the moment. So I think TiltedBoys will be pretty happy with that kind of trade.
It's a pretty big win for TiltedBoys in the end, honestly. You're finding that Monkey King even trading where you're Lina, you've got your Timbersaw soaking up there. So Osh gonna hit that Kai Sanj timing that we did talk about, which should allow him to frontline a little bit comfier for your team. You're buying a ton of room out for Ferte. He does have the full Mask of Madness up along with the Maelstrom. So he does a lot more damage. He can kind of sustain through these fights now as well. If you find the opportunity to chrono, it can start to feel pretty good.
Okay, that was
Tip out for Volodka as he clears out the Summoner creep. And Blade Mail fully done on Muzi. This is the one thing from GRIN. Muzi's been focusing more on the farm. With the aggression coming out from TiltedBoys, you do want the axe to kind of counteract that. Again, it's not the easiest axe game purely off the back of this disruption, but if you find a good angle here, if you find that opening for Muzi, then you can keep building up in this lead. You're still really comfy on the Dusa. It is a Scotty now, right after this Dragonlance. You've got a lot to pump out onto this Faceless Void, but remember, you don't necessarily want to go and tempt this game into too late of a game, as Void with level 20 talent, with a lot more items up, it can still make short work of something like that, Dusa.
That it can. And GRIN Esports looking to continue applying pressure top lane. Chrono is back up. Ferte, though, probably doesn't feel like he's got anywhere near enough damage, but they are getting there. Like, Volodka's getting closer and closer to the Aghanim Scepter. As long as you can hold out with this draft, you are going to have that infinite scaling potential with this Void. Ush, caught out top lane. Call is there from Muzi. Wukong's command immediately out. He still has a chance to chain away. In fact, Disruption is going to buy the space for him. It's Muzi will cop a Laguna on the way out. Still in danger, is going to get shredded. Ush will find him. TiltedBoys once again defending top lane successfully. Finding an axe kill for their trouble and losing nothing. And GRIN, they might at least find Skyward on the techies. Door's doing a lot of work on this Disruptor. Realm of the Shadow Demon to ensure that nobody is dying. This Rojo Fire Flute still running, gonna make it out. Volodka now in danger. Rain Prince almost finding the kill onto Volodka. Felina will barely walk away. And GRIN Esports, as much as they try, they cannot find a kill for themselves.
Yeah, they aren't able to find the openings they want. In pretty rough time in trying to engage into TiltedBoys with all the save. And for the side of TiltedBoys, again, your one concern is Soul getting all of this farm, but
They got Rojo. That's not good news.
no,
Not for GRIN.
it's really
Meanwhile,
not
Chrono, bottom lane, they found the axe. Verte, the... There's not much I can say about that, John. I'll be honest. So you can see that coming from a mile away. Muzi. He might still die, but he's going to be more than happy with the fact that he's killed this Void off. He will be dead. Demonic Purge will get it done. Yeah, so fun fact, John, as a low HP Void, you don't want to Chrono the axe with a Blade Mail. It's
No.
generally ill-advised.
It is. Volodka on the hunt here. Deer hunting season.
Certainly is. Nothing like a nice bit of venison, John. Rain Prince will cop the Laguna. He'll be gone. It's just a real shame, though, because like losing that Void, it feels so detrimental to what TiltedBoys want to be doing. It's a simple mistake, to say the least. He's going to go right back to farming, though. It's just that the whole team's buying out time for this Void, right? Like, and against this Medusa, sure, if you can drag the game out infinitely, eventually the Medusa's not going to be able to deal with you. But Soul is going to hit a power spike much faster than the Void is. And that spike is coming very, very soon, because the Skadi timing is up in about 300 gold.
Yeah, and that's when we want to see GRIN kind of kick up the tempo and start to play around with this early item advantage that they do have, leverage Medusa a little bit more, and start to find these openings. Because I don't think it's like an ultra late timing for the side of TiltedBoys. It certainly is a little bit later, but you have to remember, like, you don't have direct counters to the save coming out from TiltedBoys until you get maybe something like the BKB up. You can get your BKBs up on the side of GRIN, and the disruption save is not going to be as big of a factor. But your output on the Timsaw also grows. Like, this is not a simple game for Dedusa to just be the be-all and all carry. They will start Roshan, not the quickest one in the world. You have the smoke out here from TiltedBoys. No chrono, mind you. It's still 20 seconds away.
They might be able to buy time. Muzi's been caught. Demonic Purge again going to make sure he does not get away. So Muzi should just be dropping very, very early. Roshan, still happening. So there is time for them to get there and try to contest this Roshan. Instead, they're going to find Salivating Salamander, who will sacrifice his own life to try and buy the time. But Roshan is just not going down. He is not budging. Light Strike Rays in, landing on two, and now the Chrono's back up. Boundless Strike. It's going to buy a bit of time. Roshan on the deck. Ash has got the Aegis. Ash picks it up. Axe is in again. A big call from Muzi. He found two targets. They will wipe out the side of TiltedBoys. But they do lose Roshan, and they will lose the Aegis.
It's a big take still for TiltedBoys. You might have preferred the Aegis going the way of your Face's Void. Watch a little bit quicker on his fingers, though. In fact, they're not going to find that secondary life. Still getting the chase out onto Skyward, but they've done their job. Just taking away Roshan means your high ground's safer for a lot longer here. Even some of your tier 2s are going to be standing for a little bit longer as well. You did have to pop Chrono, so you don't really have fight until that's back up, but you have managed to stall the game. Again, for the side of GRIN, they did bleed one by one into that aggression coming out from TiltedBoys. And Roche is just a little bit too slow for that kind of stall play. They got punished pretty nicely. Maybe less than ideal Chrono coming out from Ferret. It almost felt unnecessary. Although it does give them, again, that opportunity to steal the Aegis out. And you're still... It's still more than enough to give yourself some time.
Oh, Verte. Caught here by Rojo. Still going to be able to time warp.
All right. I'm thinking
Salivating Salamander not able to get in range for a Rod of Atos into the Ancient Seal. Tilted Boys all about buying time this game. The Aghanim Scepter might be on the way here for this leader.
Radiant structures are fortified.
There it is. So now you've got
Radiant's
crazy
bottom tower is
spell
under
amp available as the leader with the flame cloak.
attack. Is under attack.
These Chronos will essentially guarantee somebody will die now with the leader available with this
Dire's
axe.
structures are
Just so much damage now with Laguna. It's pretty ridiculous with a 35% boost.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's
Just rips
middle
right through them.
tower has fallen.
Shouldn't have too many problems in finding secondary
Radiant's
chrono kills
bottom
now.
tower is under attack.
And they're still playing
Dire's
Clump up
top
here.
tower is under attack.
Yeah, top lane. She'll move in. Rain Prince going to be targeted here by the Timber. The sword will purge off the enchant. Rain Prince won't really mind dying too much if he's the only one. That's one down. Of course, GRIN Esports do not want to stick around here and force a fight if they can avoid it. They will try onto Ash. Ash may be going a bit far, but still. And purge off the Rod of Atos. And now the Chrono will fly in onto the Monkey King. That's the big one. Rojo is down. Tilted Boys. They want more. GRIN Esports sticking around way too...
Ooh.
What?
That was unexpected.
Oh.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
It happens.
unfortunate.
I guess it happens, don't we? We've all done. We've all misclicked.
Yeah, maybe again falling flat. Maybe his perspective going up there look a little bit skewed. So, just one of those things. Again, I mean, you still find all the kills you would have wanted anyway. The Deucer would have been a nice add-on, but not necessary for you to really win out that fight.
Muzi.
Mrs. Paul.
Yeah, he certainly does. He called himself, John. He's locked himself down here against Tilted Boys as the tips do come out, though he's still running. But slowed up now with the time dilation. One more hit. Verte will jump into the base. He looks very, very scared in there right now, but he'll be fine. Meanwhile, Rojo, Wukong's command out. He wants to try and get a little bit spicy, but jumps right back out of it. It's not really finishing the job here onto Skyward. They do at least successfully defend the Tormentor. So there's that. But they do lose an axe for it.
Yeah, it's a big sacrifice for the Tormentor. I don't think your shards are that amazing this game. Like, your bottom two network support shards aren't the best, so probably just wanting to prevent Tilted Boys from getting any more build-up on their end, because the upgrades down line are pretty annoying. Even just a reactive that can come out for Skyward is pretty big. So they hold on, but the 4K lead is up on Tilted Boys. The side of GRIN, only Soul's finding a lot now on the Dusa. So it does feel like there's a lot of pressure on this Dusa to deliver the goods, and I don't know if you still can. You have some BKBs coming out at least here.
Top lane, jump in onto the Skywrath. Rojo Fireflu also getting demonic purged up. It's being slowed up here by Door.
Where are you going?
They didn't have the axe for that engagement, so sadly could not really try to contest. Volodka now getting quite close to the Ethereal Blade on the laner. That's when things get even scarier against this mid laner.
Radiant's middle tower is under
We really haven't seen the most impact from this Medusa, I must say. Like, Soul just hasn't felt like he's had the biggest opportunity to just join his team and go for these big fights. Mostly because he's been kited out every single time he has tried for the fights, but that's going to be an existing problem no matter what happens. Like, the kiting potential against the Medusa is quite large here. And Soul, even with all this net worth, like, if you can't hit people, it doesn't really mean much.
Just tough. Like, your hard setup for the Deuce is like, what, Call? I guess Boundless can kind of count, but it's not the best. The Deuce to just be comfy up front. You've got the full Mjolnir up now for Ferte, so he's feeling a lot better in that Faces Void. A lot more output when the Chrono flies in. Starting to approach that level 20 timer as well, with the added attack speed in Chrono. Faces Void is going to be an issue, and again, you don't have a great counter for the Chrono here. You could maybe say Stone Gaze, If you do play fast enough on Soul, have the Stone Gaze up during Chrono, that is one way to negate that spell. But that is easier said than done. We've seen TiltedBoys can be very patient with the Chrono usage and very patient with how they approach the Deuce as well and trying to burst it down. So we shall see, but TiltedBoys bring this game back their way. If you look at the win probability as well, Mike, it's shifted heavily in the favor of TiltedBoys, which I can't really fault our AI overlords for. It does feel easier to play along as the game scales up. And we've been talking about this from draft. GRIN needed to play a lot faster, and it did look like they got that timing early on, but giving these openings out to TiltedBoys just makes it a lot harder for you to find that win.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And it does. That's the T2 tower going down top lane. Looking to try and move up to the T3 and apply a bit of pressure, just force back the side of TiltedBoys.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
TiltedBoys still trying to get the bottom T2 tower, but doesn't seem like they're going to have the most time for this. They'll try for it. But GRIN, they're not really hitting the T3 yet, which is surprising. They'll move in now with Rojo. It's going to force Ush to back in. Door, he's there as well. Purge is out. Where's the rest of GRIN Esports? They've already retreated, leaving Rojo behind. Rojo, he might get bursted. The BKB will save. Soul moving in. Big Chrono, though. Ferte, he's found 3 targets. Only finding Rain Prince. Nobody wanted to back him up. Stone Gaze was popped immediately after the Chrono. Ush in the meantime, he's going to find Muzi. Now the Medusa surrounded. Soul's almost out of mana. Still trying to run. A bit Mystic Snake will return most of the mana he was missing. But it's not really going to matter.
All right.
Soul is down.
Finally
What
finding
a
that
weird
Deuce to kill.
turn of events.
It's just a little bit fragmented from GRIN. Kind of split apart. They get caught out in the Chrono. The Stone Gaze comes off to try to cancel out the Chrono, but you weren't really in front of Ferte as he ripped through the back line. So they find the cleanup. DD up for Ferte as well. High ground can begin in earnest. With a respawn on the Axe, you do have high ground defense here for the side of GRIN. A nice blink call can kind of make a difference, but doesn't look like you care too much on TiltedBoys at all. Fortify comes in, that should force them back a bit. No Chrono here to play with. Can be a little bit risky for Ferte.
Seems that they are very, very confident without the Medusa being up. Word of Atos for disruption. Make sure that they cannot get the Mystic Flare. TiltedBoys now retreating as there's only about 15 seconds left for the Medusa to respawn. No longer need to really rush this game. Like, they are certainly looking to hold a very, very nice advantage here. Verte. You able to time walk away here from Rojo Fireflu. Blade now up on the Void as well, so even more ways of just kind of juking and jiving through these fights. Rain Prince gonna move in. Smoke broken on Skyward. Door is in the tree line in case they need it. Purge is out. Muzi gonna get a call here onto the Skyward techies. Meanwhile, Rojo Fireflu gonna find himself a Shadow Demon. Skyward actually going right back towards the edge. Does actually survive throughout all of this. Rain Prince is the one to go down, and now Salivating Salamander also getting caught by Ush. He will drop. Meanwhile, Rojo Fireflu just gets chronoed up by Ferte. And suddenly Roshan is completely open for TiltedBoys.
Just like that. With, again, a couple of pickoffs coming out. Roshan opens up for themselves here on the side of TiltedBoys. Again, for GRIN, these fights have to go out perfectly. You need a good call. You need a great usage out from Stone Gaze. Every time you kind of whiff the call, it's just so hard. Even if you get a good call, if the door is there with a save, then you're not really picking anyone off. It just gets worse and worse. There's just no way to hold down that one here to look for the 4v5 here for GRIN. It just goes the way of TiltedBoys. They've got the cheese ready to go on Wildcard. He's got the Octarine core up. So he has a 37.5 second Laguna, Mike. Doesn't even need that minus 25 second Laguna Blade cooldown reduction. Just spam that spell out. I know how you stop this. Like, you have a couple of BKBs. Rojo has one. You have one on Muzi. But the real big issue is the saves. Like, there's nothing to set up for your Dusa here as well. Like, it's only call. So, your opportunities to just play with the Deuces pretty limited.
That it is. Top lane, speaking of the Medusa, Soul maybe in a bit of danger. He's kind of being watched here by the Void. Did use the Silver's Edge though to get away. Link now up on the Medusa, so at least you do have a way of kind of just going right into the team fight with the Stone Gaze. Might be the idea is, you know, you see a nice chrono, maybe you just blink into it while after popping Stone Gaze to just petrify up the Void. TiltedBoys though looking to go through the top lane, not to be dissuaded here by GRIN. It'll be a very hard high ground defense to come against the Aegis of the Void. Oh, even the Torment is still there to be taken. So TiltedBoys, they'll just go right after the Tormentor. There's going to be no kind of counter offensive here from TiltedBoys. Or excuse me, rather GRIN. Hex now up on the Timbersaw as well. That's just going to make life even more challenging. So much lockdown from TiltedBoys to deal with.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways of opening up these fights. And that you're not fully reliant on just Chrono here. You've got good jump angles for Ush. I like this little camping spot he has outside of the side gate. So might be able to get an ambush going with a tier 2 take. We'll just go for high ground. Aegis still has a lot of time left. The side of GRIN just looking elsewhere, trying to get a split push onto that mid tier 2. Should be able to shove it in. No creep wave coming out here. True mid, at least, fourth side of TiltedBoys, but with top shoving in, you don't really care too much.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Tier 3 mid is gone. Tier 3 top tower.
Dire's bottom tower is
Under attack now. Verte taking a fair bit of damage, but always has the demonic cleanse available now from his Door Shadow Demon. He'll being a very, very effective one. TiltedBoys not going to stick around any longer, it seems. They already got a tier 3 mid tower. They'll go address the bottom lane. Only issue is their Aegis has a minute and a half left, so there's not that much time to fully abuse the Aegis timing. But it seems like they're okay to back off and keep buying more time for perhaps the Satanic to come up on the Void before they go again.
Yeah, Firth is trying to solo the Tormentor. Doesn't quite work out. Should be able to join his team now, and this should work out a little bit better. And yeah, I mean, this game just doesn't simplify for you, for GRIN. They will try with a smoke out. If they find an angle, not going to be able to do so. Firth, he does have the Chrono. It's a scary clump up here for GRIN to get caught out in this position.
Mid lane, stun is out, they've got the Void, but disruption again from Door, gonna save the day as Muzi. That's a big call out from the Axe, but he's hexed up. Still, they have found the leader as well. Volotka is down. They've got the Timber. Oh my god, there's no buybacks. 3 down without buyback. What? Muzi just maybe won the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Firth, he time walked forward. He didn't match Chrono. I don't think he saw the real Dusa. He was hiding in the tree line. He gets found by the Ench instead. And that allows him to jump out. Like the disruption being used on the Face's Void opened up that call play for Muzi. And it's a heavy price to pay for TiltedBoys. Their high ground still stands. Can't get fully aggressive here on the side of GRIN, so there is time to respawn. Chrono's still ready as well, once you do get back into that fight, but a rather awkward position to find yourself in for TiltedBoys, giving a big opening to GRIN. And eventually you're going to have to deal with an Enchantress with Moonshard up. That's not going to be fun at all, with the damage that Rain Prince can get done here.
The Swift Blink is up now for the Medusa. It's already going to be a big problem here for TiltedBoys. Luckily for them, they don't go high ground. Like, GRIN did not have a creep wave to really try and go through the mid lane. So TiltedBoys not losing too much yet, but one bad team fight like that, if that happens again, the game should just be over. It should be a tier 4 rush. They still do not have enough buybacks to defend. The only buyback available right now is the Void Shadow Demon. So, you're rough, but they are going to go for a 4-man smoke. They'll try to get the surprise initiation onto GRIN instead. Soul is going to show Skyward Smoke is broken, looking for a target. He's going to run right into the ward, trying to get a D-ward off. They'll save him for now. Skyward's still not down, but Muzi, he's jumped in. He found the Void with the Blade Mail. It's a lot of damage flying in, and the dunk is there. And Ferte spent his gold again? Ush? He's going to get caught to boot. I think it might actually just be over. Volodka's been caught. Volodka's going to go for a run. The surround is there, however. He'll heal up with the Laguna. But he is down. At least he's safe for buyback gold.
At least he did. I don't understand. Like, we're not seeing... Further jumps in, tries to line up for bigger chronos, gets punished for his greed. Now the opening's here. You've got the damage with Soul to rip through the objectives. At very least, you can try to stall with some disruption illusions, I suppose, if you want that route. And you'll only lose at least 1 Rax. There's enough time for the respawn, since it's not the quickest take. It should be secure. At most 2 Raxes, you're not going to get mega creeps up. TiltedBoys are still in the game, but they've been reckless. GRIN have found openings. They're just out of position on the side of TiltedBoys. They're not getting these chronos off. The Satanic was bought out by Soul, by Ferte, so that leads to him not having buyback. And, well, this Deuce still hits like a truck. If you're not going to chrono her, if you're going to run away when the Stone Gaze is up, she will rip you apart. And when your fights are this awkward, you've got this Face's Void way far forward, away from everyone else. You can't get the saves off. With your Shadow Demon, your supports are clumped up, then that's how the fights open up. You know, like, break apart the system of TiltedBoys, break apart the saving combination, grab them when they're all trying to clump up together somehow, trying to catch up to that front line, and the calls can still be pretty damn big.
They certainly can. 6k advantage is what's left here for TiltedBoys. But not that it really matters anymore, because it just feels like, you know, you got to get these buybacks, you got to get these initiations going. They're going to try. They found Rojo 5 foot, but they missed the Light Strike Array, forcing the Chrono to be used up, but this does not look good at all, because Rojo's going to buy it back. Ash is going down to all the impetus flying out here from Rain. Meanwhile, Volodka also down. They've even jumped in onto the Void. Ferte not looking too good himself. We'll try to mantra off the silences, but there's more incoming. He is down. No buyback available. They missed the Light Strike Array, forcing the Chrono from Ferte. You know, you can't do that.
No, you can't. You need that Chrono for Dedusa. And they get punished for it once more. High ground's open, they're forced to buy back in Volodka. Rather early, they know what's up. You know they're gonna get ripped up in the high ground. I know this game's a lot harder now for the side of TiltedBoys. If they still have outplay potential, but it's looking sloppy. You know, GRIN look a lot tighter. They're finding ways into these fights. They're forcing out these spells. And TiltedBoys in the Wildcard, it's just hesitation to use Chrono. Now it's just a little bit too far forward in that movement out. And, well, you're going to have to try to defend. Again, not the quickest push in the world. Someone has to get a grip on Rain Prince as well. Like the Moon Shard inch has been paying off massively. And Rain Prince is inching towards that Ags as well with the good old Spoink up. The pure damage he is doing is just ruining our Osh Timbersaw right now. And the unfortunate thing was the Chrono caught the Timbersaw. So it's just free impetus hits the entire time from Rain Prince.
Rain Prince is He's become a problem now on this end. There's a lot of damage flying out with this impetus. It's TiltedBoys gonna run at the brick wall that is GRIN Esports again. Scan out on Salivating Salamander. Rojo, he's the one that gets caught. He just jumped in the tree line. That's a tieback. Not what GRIN wanted.
Dire's middle tower.
The Salivating Salamander. Also caught out now in the Skywrath Mage, and Roshan is still going to go the way of TiltedBoys.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's a lot of back and forth here, Mike. Roshan goes unceremoniously towards TiltedBoys, so they'll have Aegis to back up Ferte. They'll have the free Ags up and running. Hand that over to Ferte as well, so a little bit more initiation coming through with the Time Walk. No shard up on Faces Void though, so no dancing around with the Time Walk, but you are secure. If you do die, if you somehow die once more on the Faces Void, well, you will have at least your Incarnate. You can save up for the buyback, although I'm expecting Ferte to buy out the full Butterfly here, Mike, considering the patterns coming out in this game. TiltedBoys, if you look at Volodka, he gets a Timeless Relic on top. You mouse over his stats, he has 42% spell amp.
Beautiful.
With Flame Cloak, 77%.
Beautiful.
Radiant structures are
Good to see it's additive then.
Radiant's bottom
It is. It's-
Bot lane.
Why is this the one thing additive? It's like, what?
That's a lot of damage. That's like a 1.5k Laguna Blade. That's a big one. Rain Prince. He'll be okay. He's actually quite important to survive in these team fights. They do jump in. Skyward being caught. Skyward actually getting a nice blast off on the tech. He's eating the cheese, surviving a little bit longer, but he does go down. They've dived a little bit too deep. Ush misses the chains down the tree line. Ush still alive. They missed the call from Muzi now. Laguna Blade onto Muzi. He's down. Soul's out of mana. Soul's gonna drop to boot. Rojo's jumped in though. Rojo kills off the Void. More buybacks incoming. A complete fiesta in the bot lane between these two teams. So I believe Volodka has also been caught. Volodka to go down. He'll die another time. And TiltedBoys, they get caught.
Yeah, they overcommit. They miss a couple of spell uses. Skyward jumps forward, and they're not able to follow through cleanly on Ush. They do force 2 buybacks out. So all things considered, not the worst thing in the world. No safety net for Dedusa here. No Roshan anytime soon to cover for the buyback. And you do have your buybacks ready on the side of TiltedBoys. At the very least, on your Faces Void and on your techies. No buyback for Vrlod because still, it's a little bit rough for that. Lina is just buying out the full refresh now. 3-minute cooldown on the buyback. Might well just buy out, so double Laguna, double Flame Cloak, double everything. Gonna be massive if you can respawn here. It could just end if GRIN plays their cards right. Looks like they're also playing cautiously because of those buybacks. They don't want to risk losing that Dusa once more. A good chrono in the next fight could dictate the end of the game for either side. Like a good chrono for TiltedBoys could work out for the high ground push to kind of get mega creeps going. A bad chrono for GRIN would mean that Soul is secure despite having to buy back here. And yeah, it's all hinging on that next engagement now here, Mike. Full Divine up for Soul, so you can't ignore Dedusa anymore, but if you do focus Dedusa, it dies pretty damn fast.
It certainly does. Here we go. I mean, GRIN Esports, they are all in. Torment is to be taken out by both these sides. So Ferte now going to have the reverse time walk available to them. Double damage rune sitting at the top rune spot. That's going to be very valuable. Whichever team does manage to pick that one up. Neither one sees it though, sadly. Soul pops the Silver's Edge. think they saw Ferte down at the bot lane on the creep wave. That Void, I mean, if he goes down now, I suppose you do have buyback available, but you'd really rather not commit it. If you are Ferte. TiltedBoys, they are going towards that double damage we talked about. Like, very close to it, but not quite seeing it yet. Real shame, too, because they're going to go for a 5-man smoke without oh, no, they're going to check. They are going to check. Very good news.
Dire are scanning.
It's all down to this. It's a good chrono with its DD. It's all you need, TiltedBoys. Just don't whiff.
Well, who's going to break the smoke on Ash? Ash immediately blinks in. Ferte going to be spotted here as well. All is there. Muzi, he got a couple of targets. That's a lot of damage. Wildcard and Skyward are gone. Rain Prince will go down for GRIN. Door also down. So 3 for the price of 1 so far in the favor of GRIN. As we are going to have a quick pause from Rojo. Fire flew now. Apparently the old headphones died. So we'll have to figure that one out, I suppose, Rojo. Not sure how fast he can charge the headphones. But 3 down for TiltedBoys. And Wildcard, he has no buyback available. He's nowhere near the gold either. So pretty rough affair. Obviously, he was on 40-second cooldown anyway, so it's not like he could buy back. But you get my point. They're going to have 90 seconds now without the Lena up. Sure, you haven't got your Enchantress, but who the hell cares about that? I'd say the Lena is much more worthwhile, and I think high ground is certainly open now for GRIN.
Yeah, they can go for it if they want to. It's getting a little bit scary. TiltedBoys just getting caught out with a good 2-man call. The save not able to come out there from the Shadow Demon. Your positioning here on Ush was just a bit too far forward. No one else could follow through. And you just give openings out. Side of GRIN can get to work. They do have to correct their waves. Lanes are not quite in their favor. So you do have some time here for TiltedBoys to wait through this minute respawn. On the side of GRIN, still all in on Soul. Like, if he does die, then that's it. Right? But at the same time, no one's touching Soul right now in these past few fights. It's all down to Ferte. He's got to be able to get off this chrono of his life and clean up.
GRIN waiting patiently on the high ground here of the Dire Triangle. They won't find a target yet. They'll head up top instead.
Radiant's turret has been killed.
Wildcard's been allowed enough time to respawn up. Bit of a shame here for GRIN, but without the Aegis available, I suppose they don't feel quite confident enough to move into the Void.
It's just a risk. Like, you really want that secondary life for your Dusa, or at least a buyback option. Neither one available. You do buy out on your Faceless Void.
They're jumping in. Ashi's there. He's actually jumped onto Muzi. That's a pretty big target, and Muzi's just getting destroyed. Absolutely annihilated here by Ash. That's 2 minutes without buyback, by the way. He's just down.
Yeah, that's a big win. I mean, it has been these calls opening up these fights for the side of GRIN. Without that 2-man call now, without a way of breaking up the back line, TiltedBoys have a clear path forward. They did buy out on Ferte, mind you, Mike. So if he dies, well, God knows what happens at the game at that point. They will start the high ground at least.
It should work out for him. Like, it is a 4v5 scenario. Does have the reverse time walk, as you can see. Rain Prince started with the damage. They have burnt through the shield of the Void. Ferte just going to be able to time walk off a lot of that damage, though. Ash now jumping in for a sight device onto Salivating Salamander, but he's going to be alright to just walk out. Wukong's command pop, but that is just a very defensive play here from Rojo. ensure they can at least defend the melee barracks. Do they want to keep going though? I mean, there's still 50 seconds without the axe. They're going to try. Disruption will save from Mystic Flare. Demonic Cleanse as well. Blast off is out. They've got the Enchantress, Rain Prince in trouble. They even found Rojo. They've still got the Chrono to play with. Very disciplined play by Ferte at this top lane. Ash will get jumped. Ferte's got the Chrono. They've got to be very cautious about this. Rojo's going to cop it. This could be a dieback here on the Monkey King immediately. Ferte, yes, they've got the damage. Laguna Blade is going to be enough. Onto the Medusa. She's completely surrounded.
Okay.
Velonka just deletes her. Ash will claim the kill. That's going to be it though. GG should be called any moment. There's no buybacks available now for GRIN. 4 heroes down. They might try one last time for Division 2, 2 or 3. The last buyback is there from Salivating Salamander. They'll call up Ash, but Disruption will save. Ancient under siege now. They do at least dunk on Skyward. But it is about it. Muzi's going to drop. They're letting it play out. Into the fountain they go. Celebratory fountain dive. Smoozy could not get a call. Ferte maybe going a little bit far. But now Soul is back up. Soul is trying. Problem is he does not have the Divine Rapier any longer. TiltedBoys, there's no way they get wiped, is there? Verte's going to jump in.
Oh my
They're
God.
onto the Dusa. That's going to be GG, well played.
Yeah, they make it out. GRIN, unfortunately, still not finding any win.